From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Thanks for starting your Veterans Day with us. It is Tuesday, November 11th.
Open up the windows and say thanks to a veteran. Let's get going.
The bill as amended is passed.
We're almost there. Democrats cross the aisle to vote with Republicans to end the longest U.S. government shutdown in American history. First step, the Senate, next the House, and then the president signs it. Who got what? Was it all worth it? And how fast will paychecks, benefits, and full staffing at airports begin?
Break it up! Break it up! Break it up!
Flashpoint at UC Berkeley. Conservative group Turning Point USA holds an event as fights break out between supporters of the movement started by slain activist Charlie Kirk and those who say his work caused harm. Hear from both sides.
We have to have good people with good minds who address these issues fairly and squarely.
Neighbors in San Mateo County meet the top 3 candidates for sheriff after a difficult ouster that brought the department into a culture crisis.
We cannot fail him now. It's waited too long.
Too long, and it's about time. It's Veterans Day, and your community station's opportunity to recognize a veteran pushing to recognize a fallen man with the Medal of Honor.
All right, good morning. Let's start off this forecast with some big changes that we can expect just within the next 24 hours. I want to pull up the whole California map below me, and I want to paint this picture real fast. As we head into the next couple days, we're going to notice a lot cooler weather around the corner. At the same time, cloudier conditions into our Wednesday forecast. Showers on tap for us late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. This is the big story for us here in the Bay, and as we zoom in just a little bit closer to the Bay this morning, we're already noticing a little bit cooler weather in store for us. Yesterday, we were in the 80s off into the East Bay and the North Bay. Today, we're back into the 70s. We have some changes around the corner. Of course, rainfall totals are going to start adding up into the next couple days. I'll have more on this coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Well, we start our morning with a breakthrough in Washington. Senators pass a bill to reopen the U.S. government after a record-setting shutdown. So here's how it went down. 8 Senate Democrats joined Republicans to pass what they call a short-term funding bill. It keeps the government open and running through January 30th. So kicks the can down the road just a little bit. So here's what the bill does, because there's a contrast here. First of all, it funds federal food assistance benefits known as SNAP. Federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown, they all get to go back to work. But what the bill does not do, it does not give Democrats what they held out for all of these weeks, which was extending Affordable Care Act health care subsidies. And on that note, all Democrats got was an agreement to a future vote on extending health care subsidies. They say that will happen by mid-December.
What's the point if the subsidies were the issue and that's not a part of the negotiated plan?
That's Sean Deadwiller, one of the federal workers who will be going back to work. He's asking an important question. So here's what's next. The Senate passed bill, goes to the House for a vote. That could happen as early tomorrow. And then President Donald Trump says he believes the government will open quickly after he puts his signature on the legislation. In the meantime, justices at the U.S. Supreme Court are expected to rule today on the Trump administration's request to halt full federal funding for SNAP benefits while the government remains shut down. The Trump administration challenging lower court rulings that ordered his administration to pay those benefits in full and not just what the Trump administration said they would do, tapping into emergency funds to pay partial benefits. This would affect 42 million Americans who get those federal food assistance benefits. So there's a gap in our community, right? There is a need. People are hungry. Food bank shelves are bare. So this is your chance to put some purpose in your morning. We invite you to help your neighbors in need through our annual Food for Bay Area Families program. For more information on how you can donate to local food banks or become a volunteer, just scan the QR code on your screen. You can also head to kpix.com/give.
And on this Veterans Day, we see and salute heroes. Taking a live look at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington, Virginia. President Trump is going to honor those who served as part of the wreath-laying ceremony, and then he's going to speak afterwards. We're going to have live coverage there throughout the morning. Right now at Santa Clara University, ROTC cadets are kicking off a Veterans Day Rock March to honor those who serve. Let's go over to Veronica Macias. She is there with more. Good morning, Veronica. First, I recently learned myself. Explain what a ruck is.
Okay, so this is a ruck march that essentially is a long mile walk. They're going to be carrying sacks. These cadets, they have 25 pounds inside their sack. Right now, they're in formation and they're carrying out their exercises this morning. They're going to be covering a total of 5 miles today. They're going over to the Santa Clara Veterans Memorial and back here, Ann. And these cadets, they're now, as you could see, getting these exercises in very early. Now, this is a ruck march that honors what veterans have gone through in service. And even further than that, they're honoring the emotional and physical burdens that veterans carry, some visible and some invisible. ROTC cadets here are being led by their military science professor, who reminds us today to thank a veteran.
So part of this, right, for our ruck march this morning is sort of putting our feet where our mouths are, right? We are putting in effort both to show that the cadets are getting ready to train and be the next generation in the Army, and then dedicating that training and that future service to the service of those who have gone before them.
And the Lieutenant Colonel also reminding me today he loves this holiday because it's not only honoring those who have passed in service, but honoring those who serve in any capacity here. A reminder today to appreciate the freedoms that we have in this country. So here shortly, they're going to be gathering and then heading off on that ruck march.
All right, very impressive work. Thanks for being there with us, Veronica. And there are, of course, events held all across the Bay Area today to celebrate the men and women who have served. Marin is going to hold its Veterans Day ceremony at Marin Center's exhibit hall starting at 9:30. The USS Hornet in Alameda holding a wreath-laying ceremony at 11 a.m. with the flyover at 12:30. And San Jose's 107th annual Veterans Day parade going to march through downtown at noon. Organizers say it is the largest Veterans Day parade in Northern California. And here's the rundown for what's open and closed this Veterans Day. Government offices, post offices, and courts shut their doors today. Stock markets will be trading, but bond markets and banks taking the day off. Major retailers like Walmart and Target are open and offering plenty of sales, by the way. And, of course, a heads up for travelers, a story we've been covering for days now. Expect flight delays as the shutdown continues to hit air traffic control.
Thank you, veterans. Well, more headlines around the Bay Area, right where you live. We're learning more about the deaths of a family in a Westwood Highlands home last month. This morning, we know that this tragedy is a case of murder-suicide. So here's what happened. Thomas Ochiltree and his two daughters, ages 9 and 12, shot and killed the mother and wife, Paula Trong, who the sheriff's department says took her own life. The medical examiner's office found sedatives in all of the bodies. We're also learning more about the weeks leading up to the deaths. The family reportedly faced losing their home to foreclosure after the closures of several businesses and mounting debt. New information and new video this morning you just got to see on a frightening Muni train ride that happened back in September. SFMTA now confirming the train operator fell asleep at the controls. Now, look at this video. The operator seen nodding off as that train moved 50 miles per hour, exiting the Sunset Tunnel over near DuBose Park. Look at the jostle there. That caused the operator to wake up quickly and the people on the train to also get thrown around. Look at this. Yeah, that's the scary view from inside that passenger car. That train comes to a sudden stop while some passengers tossed to the ground, others falling on top of each other. The operators then heard apologizing to stunned passengers. SFMTA blames that operator for fatigue and says the operator is now in a non-driving status.
Break it up! Break it up! Break it up!
Break it up, you hear there. Berkeley, charged emotions in Berkeley last night. Police saying they had to break up fights outside a Turning Point USA event at UC Berkeley. That conservative group founded by the late Charlie Kirk brought its American comeback tour to the Bay Area just 2 months after Kirk's Utah assassination. So as protesters and supporters clashed there in the streets, police were there to make arrests. Amanda Harry shows us the tense moments and talked to people on both sides.
While some people lined up hours early to get a good seat at the Turning Point USA American Comeback Tour, others were protesting the event altogether.
I think it's important to be out here, and I'm really proud to see that the culture is still alive.
Andrew Similai-Chan is a junior. But it's his first year at UC Berkeley and one of his first on-campus protests.
To get out here and be in community and really advocate for the values that we hold as an institution, to hold ourselves as students accountable and be here and show up to protect, the rights of so many people and fight against hatred and bigotry.
There were some tense moments during the protest. A car drove by and backfired. And someone threw smoke bombs. But Similai Chan was trying to encourage people to stay.
The smoke will be here and it smells really bad, but congregate again, because that's what they want. They want people to leave. They want people to be in fear.
There was also a scuffle between two men. UC Berkeley police had to break it up. At least one person was arrested. But it didn't stop Junior Lilly from coming out to protest against Turning Point and their founder, the late Charlie Kirk.
Knowing what he did and knowing the things that he was saying, it's just vile and disgusting. So we don't want to support his organization, and I don't think that the Berkeley chancellor should have let them come here.
But Lisa Dispro with Moms for Liberty of Contra Costa County says Kirk's message needs to live on.
That marriage is a blessing, that children are a blessing, that being educated isn't a singular ideology.
And Isaiah Larsaval agrees.
And Charlie was a great influence on my life, just, how to live as a man and a godly man. So when I heard that they were bringing TPU here, I was like, heck yeah.
He traveled all the way from Reading for the event.
It's a great opportunity. I'm really, really blessed we were able to get a ticket.
The event was sold out. Protesters who stayed outside, including Similai Chan, says they're satisfied with their efforts.
So proud to see so many people. It gives me hope that the work and the movement is never done and it's never over, and we're here to keep fighting.
All right, 11 minutes after 6 o'clock, and we are tracking air trouble again with more flight restrictions in effect today. How Bay Area airports are faring as we take a live look at the Oakland airport.
Figuring out who should lead a department that's been surrounded by a lot of controversy. What the candidates for sheriff in San Mateo County laid out to you, the voter and the public, at a forum last night.
And it's a dry day today. Not the case as we head into the next couple days. Storms pushing in from offshore Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to time this out for you. Coming up in your first alert forecast.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so watching video from our many monitors. They are streaming live video from all across the globe, bringing you the headlines. And that includes those much talked about delays and cancellations because of the U.S. government shutdown at airports. Now, by the end of the week, orders by the FAA to cancel 10% of flights at 40 major airports will be in full force. Now, this morning, we can tell you 56 flights have been canceled at SFO. 13 flights have been canceled at Oakland. We'll keep watching that throughout the morning. Then we also want to show you this. This is the FlightAware map that shows you the pain points there on the map all across the country. This is in real time at the very moment. So a lot of delays are coming from this part of the country over on the East Coast. And if you think that's just for them, it's not. That then translates to delays on the other side of the country, right here in the Bay Area where we live. So why is it happening? We know this: sick outs by airport staff to blame. Employees are choosing to not work if they're not getting paid. President Trump has now started to make threats about that on social media. The president wrote, all air traffic controllers must get back to work now. He, in fact, threatened to dock their pay for those who don't, and then went on to say he will reward controllers who didn't take time off during the shutdown with a $10,000 bonus. Something else not helping air travel is this. Look at that behind me. The Midwest slammed with its first snowstorm of the season. Heavy lake effect snow brought whiteout conditions to parts of Michigan and Indiana with more than a foot on the ground there. In Chicago, winds and snow made roads slick, delaying flights and closing schools. Well, families who lost their children in the Texas Camp Mystic flooding over the summer are suing the camp's owner for gross negligence. 3 lawsuits in all filed by the families of 7 campers and 2 counselors who died in that July 4th tragedy. One of the suits accuses the camp of housing girls in flood-prone cabins and not following state rules that require evacuation plans. Camp attorneys say staff did their best once the warnings came through during what they say was an unprecedented historic disaster. In that disaster, more than 130 people lost their lives, including members of the Walker family. They are our neighbors from the North Bay. Mark, Sarah, and Johnny Walker lost their lives. Their daughter, Ellie, lives her life now without her family members. She was a camper at Camp Mystic but survived.
All right, let's take a live look outside. The sun is rising, and we have a gorgeous shot right now of it from our Black Mountain camera in Santa Clara County. And Jessica has a look at your weather forecast this Veterans Day.
It's a great morning to get out there, get some fresh air, off to a chilly start, but into this afternoon, gosh, we have some beautiful weather in store for us. Today is the day to prepare because right around the corner, and I'm pulling up the whole California map below me, we're going to see some big changes. Clouds rolling in as we head into our Wednesday forecast tomorrow. Light showers late tomorrow night with some heavier showers on tap for us early Thursday morning. That continues to push through the whole state of California, bringing in snow to the Sierra, but rain for us here in the Bay and some gusty winds with that too. So let's dive into that a little bit further. We're going to pull up the San Francisco map, starting off with daytime highs today. A little bit more mild for us as we head into this afternoon along our inland areas. Yesterday we were in the 80s. Today we're in the 70s. It will continue that cold trend as we head into the next couple days as a cold front sweeps through. That's what that rain system is. So cooler temperatures, gustier winds, and rain right around the corner as early as tomorrow, lasting into our Thursday forecast. And that's what we're in store for. But today, pretty calm day. I mean, we're talking about 70s all the way up into the North Bay, 60s along the coast. It's a great day to get out there and get some fresh air. Light winds still in the forecast for us, and you make your way down into the Santa Clara Valley. We're not seeing too much of a change either. I'm going to drop these numbers real fast, and I want to show you some other things going on. We're going to replay that radar throughout the next 24 hours, actually throughout the next 72 hours. And what you can expect as we head into the next couple days is anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley. Some more impressive numbers in some of our inland spots, like Livermore, for example, about a quarter of an inch expected up into Napa and Vallejo for Thursday alone. And that's what we're going to continue to keep a close eye on as we head into the next couple days. Timing that out just a little bit further so you can paint this picture well, and especially time it out for your personal schedule. Wednesday morning, pretty nice. Wednesday evening, well, we start to see some light showers trickling in there. An umbrella would be a smart idea. We head into the overnight hours that night, just around 1 a.m. That's when some of those storms actually start to push through from Santa Rosa all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley. This is what we're waking up to early Thursday morning. It's going to be a mess on the roads, but it does start to push off to the east as we head into Thursday afternoon. So keep that in mind as we head into the next couple days for that morning commute. Daytime highs are going to cool down a lot as we head into the next couple days. We're in the 70s today in the Bay, 60s as we dive into the rest of this week. You take a look at our inland forecast. Yesterday we were in the 80s. We're also dipping down into the low 60s by Thursday once that cold front sweeps through. For now, back to you.
All right, let's take a look at your morning commute. A little bit different today because it is a holiday. Here's a major heads up for ferry riders. The Vallejo Ferry Terminal is closed today again, so service is operating out of Mare Island instead. That is where you're going to board. This is because of ongoing dredging work there. All the other transit systems running on schedule this morning. No major delays reported. On the traffic map, the Altamont Pass, the lowest speed right now about 30 miles per hour, so a bit of a slow and go situation through that stretch, but not quite as bad as we would usually see this time of the morning. There is a stalled vehicle on the entry ramp to 580 eastbound near International Parkway, and over at the Bay Bridge, traffic a little lighter than normal. The holiday giving us a smoother ride into the city this morning. And that is a look at your Tuesday commutes.
6:21. Well, some of the blame game going around when it comes to the Niners' loss on Sunday, where star tight end George Kittle says the team needs to improve. Coming up, the Red and Gold Report.
And before we take a quick break, a live look at the city from our camera on Treasure Island. The Bay looking like glass this Tuesday morning. We'll be right back. The Rams scored 42 points in Sunday's win over the 49ers, but one Niners star put the blame on the team's offense. Vern Glenn has the story in this morning's Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers fell to 6-4 with Sunday's loss to the rival Rams. San Francisco has yet to win consecutive games since starting the season 3-0.
We just got to respond better after wins. I think that's what we're learning. Feel like we get too relaxed a little bit. You know, after we win, you kind of smell your own junk a little bit, so it's tough. We can't really be like that.
Hey, look at this. Matthew Stafford and the Rams danced all over the Niners in their 42-26 win at Levi's Stadium. LA jumped out to a 21-0 lead against an injury-depleted San Francisco defense. Tight end George Kittle says the offense needs to step up to help out their defense.
Our team is going to have to rely on our really good veteran offense to score a lot of points and not turn the ball over, and we didn't really do that today. And so I think that's going to be the case moving forward. But we have to help out our defense. That's the way the season's going to go. Our offense has to play at a high level, efficient, not turn the ball over, score points, score in the red zone, and then we'll win a lot of games. But if we're not doing that, that's going to happen.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
All right, San Francisco already in the festive spirit. Check it out, the annual Christmas tree lighting held at Union Square last night. Yes, it is not even Thanksgiving yet. The tree standing in the middle of the plaza right across from Macy's until early January. And right next to the Christmas trees, the ice skating rink. That is open through January 19th. Plenty of time to get out there, strap on those skates. I'd like to do that once again. 25 minutes after 6 o'clock and continuing coverage out of Washington after the Senate took a major step to reopen the government. What's next on a deal that continues to draw controversy?
And as we continue on the morning edition, hear from the three candidates vying to be the next sheriff of San Mateo County, an office embroiled in controversy. The vision of the candidates getting their chance to make their pitch to you, the citizen, when we come back.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
And we are taking a live look outside this Veterans Day. Look at this. Take a moment. Gorgeous shot from our camera on Treasure Island, looking at the Bay Bridge toward the East Bay as the sun rises. A lot of people have the day off, and it is a day to thank all of our service members for their hard work, including our own Jessica Birch.
Oh, good thing we have a beautiful sunrise to wake up to, right? It's a beautiful day already for us here in the Bay Area, and thank you so much. Here's what's happening for us as we head outside today and tomorrow. This forecast is looking great as we head into this afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to start noticing some more clouds rolling in from offshore. And then tomorrow afternoon into early Thursday morning, rain's pushing through the whole Bay Area, bringing in rain and gusty winds and cooler temperatures for us here locally. But it's also going to bring in some snow for our friends all the way up into the Sierra. As we zoom in a little bit closer, though, today, you're going to notice daytime highs a smidge cooler compared to yesterday as that cold front starts to roll its way in. Yesterday we were in the 80s. Today we're in the 70s. You head all the way up into the North Bay real fast. We're talking about daytime highs in the low 70s, anywhere from Napa all the way over into Vallejo. We're going to see some changes right around the corner as that storm system starts rolling its way in. I'm going to time that out for you coming up in your first alert forecast. But for now, back to you.
All right, Jess, thank you. On this Veterans Day, we see and salute heroes like yourself who served and who serve. That includes my dad watching in Little Vernal, Utah. We are showcasing celebrations happening here all across the Bay as well. San Francisco and Pleasanton, they celebrated their veterans earlier in the week. This morning, people in Danville will honor those who serve at a pancake breakfast. Get a double stack. There's also an open house at the Veterans Memorial Building there. This year, the Coast Guard will not take part in Petaluma's Veterans Day Parade at 1 p.m. because of the government shutdown. Local veterans will light the beacon on top of Mount Diablo at sunset to honor those who have served.
Meanwhile, the longest shutdown in U.S. history could end as early as tomorrow. The Senate has signed off on a deal. They did that last night that would reopen the government through the end of January. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to get that through. The bill reverses layoffs and guarantees back pay for federal workers. The House could vote as soon as tomorrow, and if it passes, it heads to the president's desk. Meantime, a lot of Democrats are expressing frustration at the deal. It does reopen the government with only the promise to hold a vote on whether to extend the affordable health care tax credits next month, but no guarantee of success. And former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was in San Francisco Monday to promote open enrollment and covered California, and she called the deal inadequate.
I think it falls very short of what the American people need and deserve, and therefore I will be firmly voting no on it.
If the tax credits expire, monthly premiums could nearly double in California on average next year.
Headaches continue for travelers at Bay Area airports and airports all over the country. This is what Oakland Airport looks like this morning. Doesn't look like a lot of headaches going through security there. Airlines here are expected to cancel 6% of their flights starting today, 10% by the end of the week. This morning, FlightAware reports 13 flights canceled there in Oakland. That's just ahead of what is expected to be more flights canceled. Coming up in this broadcast, travel pro Clint Henderson will join us with what you need to know to navigate around these cancellations. Justices on the U.S. Supreme Court are expected to rule today on the Trump administration's request to halt full federal funding benefits known as SNAP those food benefits that have come to a halt because of the U.S. government shutdown. So why the Supreme Court? Well, it's because lower courts ruled the Trump administration has to pay full benefits. The administration is fighting that. Meanwhile, the needs are great here at home. Second Harvest Food Bank of Santa Cruz County provided meals for 73,000 people last month. That is up from their average of 65,000 meals per month last year. They expect that number to grow to 100,000 needing meals monthly.
The number one reason people are food insecure in our county, because we ask them, is because of housing costs. And so the food bank is becoming a more reliant agency for people that are trying to figure out how to make ends meet.
So heads up, Second Harvest in Santa Cruz has 4 emergency community food distributions at different locations. You can see them listed right here on your screen. And there are plenty of ways you can help. One, from my neighborhood, likely your neighborhood as well. Look for those scout tags on your door encouraging you to give. Also, we invite you to help your neighbors in our annual Food for Bay Area Families program. It's one of my favorite initiatives here at the station. For more information on how you can donate to local food banks or even volunteer your time, get to know your neighbor, serve your neighbor, just scan that QR code on your screen. You can also head to kpix.com/give.
Moving around the Bay for headlines in your community. A Napa jury reached a verdict in a violent highway shooting that shut down traffic and left a man seriously hurt. Happened back in 2022. Jurors found Trong Nguyen guilty of attempted murder, carjacking, and several gun charges. Prosecutors say he shot a driver in the head during the morning rush hour on Highway 29 and then stole a truck from a work route downtown. Officers from multiple agencies arrested him hours later after a pursuit. He now faces life in prison, and he is due back in court tomorrow. In San Francisco, there is a new proposal to redevelop a shuttered Safeway and boost affordable housing in the city. Developer Align Real Estate has submitted plans for the former Safeway in the Fillmore neighborhood. Align is looking to build 1,800 units under the state's density bonus program, with around 15% of them designated affordable housing. The news comes more than a year after Safeway announced controversial plans to sell that property and close the store that had served people for decades. Heading now to the East Bay. Alameda County investigators announcing a breakthrough in a 30-year-old murder case. Zachary Johnson was found shot to death in his home in Hayward back in June 1993. And yesterday, the mother of his children, Veronica Fonseca, and her then boyfriend, Anthony Fox, were charged with murder. Investigators say tipsters identified them more than a decade ago, but the case stalled until it was revived through new witness information. Both of them currently in New York, waiting to be extradited to California.
In San Mateo County, the top 3 candidates to replace former Sheriff Christina Corpus made their pitches to you, the citizen, for why they should get the job.
Yeah, Corpus, of course, was removed after allegations of misconduct and abuse of power. She has repeatedly denied all of those allegations. Lauren Toms introduces us to the candidates and the community members to explain what they want to see in the future.
Inside the San Mateo County headquarters, 3 finalists lined up for a job interview unlike any other, one that could help repair a department still recovering from years of scrutiny and the ouster of former Sheriff Christina Corpus. Brian Travis, an immigrant from Vietnam who fled as a child and now serves as police chief for Solano Community College, spoke of rebuilding from within.
They are broken right now. The last couple of years have really taken a toll on their psyche. Promotion opportunities have been taken away from them.
Kenneth Binder, a career law enforcement official who served as undersheriff in Santa Clara County and now serves as interim police chief in Gilroy, promised to take political favors and nepotism out of the job.
There's not going to be a sheriff's friend gets promoted just because they're their friend or some good old boy network. We're going to get rid of all of that.
And David Lazar, a 33-year veteran of the San Francisco Police Department who retired as assistant chief this year, vowed to heal the culture and refocus the mission.
The strength is from this organization right now. They're all here and they're ready to go.
They're each hoping to fill an office with a culture crisis following years of low morale, internal investigations, and division. But the other flashpoint was immigration. As communities faced heightened fears of deportation, each candidate pledged to follow state law and not cooperate with immigration enforcement.
There's a lot of fear in the community, and my job as sheriff is to put those fears at ease. I will never allow our deputies to ask anyone what their immigration status is.
I've seen the hurt that this immigration enforcement has caused our migrant community.
As sheriff, we're going to completely stay out of what's going on with regard to immigration and ICE enforcement.
Then the public took the mic, many calling for new leadership, some calling for healing. An overwhelming number of community members voiced support for Lazar, while several endorsed Travis and Binder.
If the management of our police department isn't cohesive, that we residents could be at risk.
So we have to have good people with good minds who address these issues fairly and squarely.
No decision has been reached just yet. The board has until Wednesday to decide on which candidate is best suited for the badge to serve a county ready for change.
Lauren Toms, thank you for that. Time right now is 6:38. Nancy Pelosi's daughter running for office, but not for the seat a lot of people wondered about. Up next, we hear from Christine Pelosi on what she hopes can be a powerful political future.
And here is a live view from our camera on top of the Salesforce Tower. Look at those colors. Gorgeous sunrise for Veterans Day 2025. Jess is going to have your forecast coming up right after the break. We'll be back.
First Alert Weather, brought to you by AAA Insurance. Get a quote today.
Watching live video from our many monitors bringing us headlines from across the globe. Big update to a story we told you about yesterday. ByHeart is now recalling all of its baby formula off shelves. 13 infants across multiple states, including California, got sick with botulism. The FDA has not confirmed a direct link, but the company says it is working to ensure safety and transparency. You can find out more details by checking out ByHeart's website. Meantime, President Trump is taking his fight with magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll to the U.S. Supreme Court. He's asking the High Court to review the $5 million civil verdict that found him liable for sexually abusing Carroll in a Manhattan dressing room back in the 90s and defaming her by denying her claims. Trump's lawyers argue the judge in that trial made errors. A major redistricting shakeup in Utah. A judge has thrown out the Republican-drawn congressional map, ordering the state to use a plan submitted by the League of Women Voters and other plaintiffs. Judge Diana Gibson ruled the GOP map unfairly favored Republicans, violating the anti-gerrymandering standards in Proposition 4. The new map keeps Salt Lake City largely in one district, giving Democrats a realistic shot at flipping a seat in 2026 for the first time in years. State House Republicans are condemning the decision as judicial activism and vow to appeal to the Utah Supreme Court.
House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Christine Pelosi, announcing plans to run for the state Senate seat of Scott Wiener. Christine Pelosi is a lawyer who serves on the Democratic National Committee. She says she's running to help build San Francisco's future as State Senator Wiener announces his plan to run for the seat currently occupied by the Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi.
Of course, here in San Francisco, where AI is really going to make us or break us, I want to make sure that everybody is included in that future that San Francisco is building, and that as a mom in particular, I am a voice for people concerned about our children's wellness and health.
Christine Pelosi asked about why she's not running for her mother's seat. She tells our reporter she believes after 40 years, San Francisco voters deserve a fresh voice in our nation's capital.
Airline passengers facing new frustration this morning as busy U.S. airports set out to meet a higher Federal Aviation Administration target for reducing flights. Airlines under FAA order to reduce flights to 6% starting today. That means even more flight delays and cancellations at 40 of the nation's biggest airports. We talked to some people at Oakland's airport who say they're already worried about their holiday plans.
I come home for breaks and stuff like that, and I'm just a little bit worried. I know that I have Thanksgiving coming up, I have winter, I have to get back up to campus in January, and I'm just curious to see how it's going to play out the rest of the year.
Well, joining us now to talk about how the shutdown is affecting travel is Clint Henderson with The Points Guy. Thanks for being with us today.
You got it. I'm jealous of your lovely Bay Area temperatures right now.
Yes, where are you coming at us from?
New York City, where it was snowing this morning for the first time this season.
Okay, it is November. All right, so speaking of the holidays coming right around the corner, we're talking about a likely end to the government shutdown coming, but people have these tickets and they don't know what to do. What advice do you have for travelers?
Yeah, even when the government reopens, we're in for a world of hurt. It's going to take a while to get everything ramped back up. So I would definitely have a plan B these days. I'm telling people for Thanksgiving, I think we'll be in better shape. Don't cancel your trips, but you want to have a backup flight booked using points or miles on a different airline so the ticket isn't canceled. Or if you're traveling through a major hub, maybe have a rental car backup booked from that hub in case your regional flight gets canceled. You just really have to be a really big self-advocate right now, even more so than normal, because there's still a dramatic shortage of ATC workers, even if the government shutdown, really ramps down quickly.
So how long could this be affecting the airline industry?
I think at least through Thanksgiving. So, and remember, we've got a really bad shortage of air traffic controllers still. That was pre-shutdown. So that's not going to get fixed anytime soon. You combine that with a little bit of weather, and you're in for a world of hurt. So you just really have to be aware as a consumer, have the airline app installed, know the airline customer service number, follow them on social media so you can reach out to them directly if things go wrong, and do have a backup plan in mind.
And what about airline prices in the wake of all this? Have you seen any movement there?
Yeah, so prices are higher than they were this time last year, but they haven't spiked dramatically. I think some people are probably going to cancel plans just based on all this messiness we've been seeing, but it hasn't affected ticket prices too much now. We're looking at 1% to 4% higher year over year. And right now is the last chance you have to book Christmas flights at a discount. So if you haven't booked yet, I have a story at the Points Guy right now on it. Book your Christmas flights this week or prices will skyrocket after that.
Okay, I have not booked mine. Thank you for the advice as always. Clinton Henderson, the Points Guy.
Good to see you.
Taking a live look outside on this Tuesday morning. Look at that gorgeous sunrise over the bay, boats on the water. Just take a deep breath, everybody. It's Tuesday, starting a brand new day. Jess has weather.
It is a beautiful day at that, too. I want to start off with a couple changes that we're going to notice into the next couple days. We're already starting to experience it now. As we head into this week's forecast, we have some storms sweeping in from offshore. Now, we're going to really notice the difference as we head into our Wednesday and Thursday forecast as clouds start to roll in from offshore. And we also start seeing light showers early morning hours tomorrow, lasting into the afternoon hours, too. I'm going to clear this and restart it one more time. We'll see as we just take a look at the time lapse, which it decided not to show you. So we're just going to zoom in a little bit closer. As we head into our Wednesday and Thursday forecast, there's a good chance of showers widespread throughout the Bay Area. Here in places like San Francisco, up into the North Bay, we could see anywhere up to around 1/4 of an inch of rain. Even more impressive numbers down south. I'll show you that in just a second. But here's where we're at today. Daytime highs sitting in the 70s off into the East Bay, the Santa Clara Valley, up into wine country too. A little bit cooler compared to yesterday. And as we take a look at the time lapse of that storm system, we're going to notice more clouds rolling in as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Here's those showers starting to trickle off into the East Bay, some stormier conditions early Thursday morning. And then when we head into Thursday evening, most of that starts to push offshore. We'll start to clear up into our Friday forecast. So here's those rainfall accumulations as of now. This is what we're forecasting, up to around 1/2 inch of rain all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley, about 1/4 of an inch all the way up into places like Napa, Vallejo, stretched over into San Francisco too. Let's just time that out a little bit more, just so you can get a really good idea of what it's going to look like as we head into the next couple days. Wednesday morning, cloudy as can be. Light showers starting to push in into Wednesday afternoon. Light for the most part. It's really the overnight hours Wednesday night into early Thursday morning where we see those stormy conditions widespread throughout the Bay Area. From San Jose down into Gilroy, we could expect thunderstorm activity. That also tracks off into the east. By Thursday afternoon, it starts to really push off to the Sierra. We clear up on the back end, and that's when things will start to calm down just a little bit more as we get creep closer to this weekend's forecast. So Friday's still cool and cloudy, as emphasis on the cool. That cold front brings in daytime highs down to the low 60s, widespread throughout the day, but at least we're going to expect some sunnier conditions by Saturday, and then heading into Sunday, another chance of showers around the corner. You head over into our inland spots. Yesterday we're in the 80s. Next couple days we're holding on tight to low 60s. By Thursday and Friday, it'll feel a lot cooler as we wrap up this weekend.
All right, want to take a check on your traffic. Things are a little more chill than they normally are this time of day because it is a federal holiday, of course, Veterans Day, and we thank all veterans for their service. The Vallejo Ferry if you're planning on using that, 8 is closed for the day. They're doing some dredging over there, so you need to take the ferry from Mare Island. Heading to 580 westbound toward the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, there is a crash causing some backup there, so take it easy in that area. At the Bay Bridge, traffic is starting to build, but again, not as bad as we would normally see. Slow and go there, not necessarily bumper to bumper. And that is a look at your morning commutes.
Well, an Iraqi war veteran fighting to honor a fallen soldier who died shielding his team from a grenade back in 2006. Natalie Brand reports he's pushing for the Medal of Honor and says he's not going to stop until that medal is awarded. Watch.
We cannot fail him now. It's waited too long.
Retired Command Sergeant Major Daniel Pinion has a new mission. Nearly 20 years after leading a specialized team during intense and deadly fighting in Ramadi during the Iraq War.
I mean, we were averaging 46 attacks a day on our brigade.
But one attack in August 2006 is especially haunting when 28-year-old Sergeant Marquise Quick of Alabama sacrificed his life to save his fellow soldiers.
As the 4 grenades came over the roof, Sergeant Barr screamed, "Grenade, grenade, grenade." And everybody started to seek cover except for Sergeant Quick. So Sergeant Quick was right next to the stairwell to safety, and the grenades were behind him, and he deliberately turned towards the grenades and went to the grenades to shield them, or his comrades, from the blast.
During the chaos of war, Pinion says he focused on his soldiers who survived. But 2 years ago, while researching a book he was writing, he kept coming back to Sergeant Quick's heroism. Pinion has launched a campaign for Quick to receive the Medal of Honor, even turning to social media to track down a member of the old unit who witnessed his valor.
I sent a text message to probably my 20th phone number and got a reply.
With support of Sergeant Quick's comrades and widow, Pinion is working through the lengthy process of petitioning for the award.
His name will forever be remembered as a hero.
Pinion says it's the recognition Quick deserves for going above and beyond the call of duty, saving 3 lives at the cost of his own.
If awarded, Sergeant Quick would join just 3,500 others who've received that Medal of Honor since 1861. The review could take 10 months or more, with final approval needed from the Army, the Pentagon, and the President of the United States. 6:52 on this Veterans Day morning. Still ahead, President Trump proposing rebate checks funded by tariffs. A lot of people say that would only increase the debt and the money's not there. How would it work? And are you somebody at the income level to get one? We're going to ask about that in our Money Watch report.
And taking a live look outside before we head to break from our camera on Treasure Island, looking back at the city and the Bay Bridge. We'll be right back. Time now for your Money Watch report, taking a live look at the big board. They are trading this morning, and the Dow is up about 75 points. President Trump once again talking about sending Americans rebate checks, but this time he says the money won't come from taxes. He said he wants to give middle and lower income Americans $2,000 checks funded by tariff revenue. He says the wealthy would not qualify, though details remain unclear on that. Economists say the numbers aren't adding up. The plan would likely cost more than tariffs have brought in so far, and Congress would probably need to approve that first. Billionaire Warren Buffett says don't expect to hear much from him after he retires at the end of the year. In his annual Thanksgiving letter to shareholders, the 95-year-old chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway says he is going to be, quote, going quiet when he retires at the end of the year. Buffett says he will step up his philanthropy. He plans to give away almost $150 billion worth of company stock that he holds. Inflation taking a bite out of the burger business. Wendy's is announcing plans to close 300 restaurants across the country. The burger chain says it is working to cut costs and win back budget-conscious customers who say that its meals have simply become too expensive. The closures will start soon and continue through next year. Specific list of locations was not announced. Well, politicians, journalists, and friends turned out to celebrate the life of legendary television broadcaster Belva Davis.
Yeah, her memorial service held at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, and we're bringing Erin on. She's an important member of our team, wearing her Alpha Kappa Alpha scarf today, attending a beautiful ceremony also today for Belva. I think this should be your read. Tell our viewers about this important person in our community.
Thank you. Belva's award-winning career spanned 45 years, and she's become a trusted name in Northern California households. She's gotten her start here at KPIX, where she stayed for over a decade. CBS correspondent Bill Whittaker called her a mentor and shared a bit of her legacy.
From the humblest of beginnings, she became the voice of her place and time. She forged her way to the top of her profession when there was no one else doing it who looked like her. And in so doing, she held a guiding light for all who followed.
Belva was a trailblazer, but her journey came with hardship. However, according to her best friend, Rosemary, Belva persevered.
Whenever she met an obstacle, mountain, she said, her inner voice would say, "Lead me, Lord, around it."
Belva died in September at the age of 92. She is survived by her husband of 62 years, Bill Moore, her 2 children, and her 2 grandchildren.
Beautifully done, Aaron. I think Belva would be very happy about that. And squee for all of our AKA viewers out there as well. I love that, lead me, Lord, around it. That's one of my favorite spirituals. Lord, don't move the mountain. Give me strength to climb. Don't move the stumbling block. Lead me, Lord, around it. Good job. Good job. Thank you, Belva.
All right, coming up here on CBS News Bay Area, a San Jose veteran sharing his transition into civilian life. How a nonprofit organization helped him pursue his dream of attending Stanford University.
And the drama about West Texas oil billionaires returns for a second season. We'll be chatting with the stars of Landman still ahead.
And taking a live look outside before we head to break. Gorgeous shot of the sun rising over the bay. So we're going to jump over to Pix Plus 44, Channel 12. And also, you can find us right now live on the CBS News app. Free CBS News app. Just choose live and then Bay Area.